Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of Behind the Bench. I am Rocco Granado from InLacrosseWeTrust.com, and with me, as usual, from Lax Philly is Gary Grube. Gary, I wish I could say how you feeling, but I think I know exactly how you are feeling. Basically the same way I am and everybody else is.
Because really, as a time of recording right now, I should be sitting somewhere in Scotiabank Arena waiting for the Band as a Rock game to start. But if I did that, I'd be sitting outside of Scotiabank because it's locked up tight.
Yes, there is a coronavirus going around, as we well know of. A lot of arenas are on lockdown for at least 30 days while they try to get a handle on this. Here in the States, we were told today that 46 of the 50 states have people that are infected with the COVID-19 virus. They're actually asking people just to self-quarantine themselves, not do any unnecessary traveling or going out or things like that. Take the necessary precautions. Wash your hands, warm soapy water, and use the alcohol wipes.
My question is this: did we really need to be told how to wash our hands?
Believe it or not, there are some people out there that don't know how to wash their hands for some reason. But they just want to, the doctors that come out with these press conferences, they want to make sure that everybody knows warm soapy water for 20 seconds, vigorous wash for 20 seconds with warm soapy water, and that'll clean your hands. Try to do as much as possible. If not, use the Purell. Now, that is...
It's never a substitute for soap and water.
Right. But when you're out and about, you can't find a sink and soap and wherever you're at. So you use that from time to time. But problem is, you can't find that in stores right now because people.
You can't find much in stores right now. And being a Costco employee, you can't find much of anything really.
Right, because everybody is out there, and you got people literally out there monopolizing on it. People are buying 30 to 40 bottles of the Purell, buying 7 to 8 20 packs of toilet tissue. Okay?
Here's the problem. Here's the problem. You cannot fight this by yourself.
No.
If you buy 50 bottles of Purell and nobody else gets to buy a bottle of Purell, things spread.
Right.
If you let everybody have a bottle of Purell and everybody disinfects, then maybe it has a chance of being killed.
Right.
But if you're going to hoard it all to yourself, well, guess what? We're not solving anything.
No.
So people have to learn to work with each other again. It's not about how much you can hoard, and in a month's time you're going to go and try and return everything. No, that's just wrong.
Yeah.
You got to work with each other, people.
Yeah.
You got to work with each other.
That's what you have to do.
This will all settle itself out. They certainly found a way over in China. They seem to be on the decline.
Right.
So, let's all just calm down.
Yeah. Calm down and let's
because your immune system is a lot more susceptible when you are absolutely panicked.
Right.
And everything in your system is upside down then. Calm down. This isn't the apocalypse. This isn't the end of the world. If you have a healthy immune system, you will fight this. You will barely see symptoms if you catch it at all.
Right.
If you have respiratory problems, yes, I would be doing things a whole lot differently. If you're elderly, yes, I would be doing things a whole lot differently. But if you're a normal, healthy individual, this really isn't, oh my God, the sky is falling and the world is about to blow up pandemic.
Right. Just up the
Common
vitamins.
sense and calm would be a great deal helpful to everybody. If everybody keeps their heads, we'll be able to fight this thing and get rid of it once and for all.
Yeah, we'll be fine. I mean, load up on the vitamin C. I mean, take an extra vitamin C tablet. Take your multivitamin. Do things like that. Okay, and just do the normal things. And Gary, just like we said, don't monopolize on everything. Everybody needs to help.
Wash your hands. Don't touch your face. Simple things.
Right. Now,
a little bit of thinking goes a long way.
Yeah, well, that's the key word, thinking. One other thing I want to rant about before we kind of review last week's games and get into everything here. this isn't for like the Wings fans that are out there. This is probably going on in other cities as well. Okay, you got people out there wanting to know, when are we going to get the money back on the tickets? When is this going to happen? Can we file a civil suit? Can we this? Can we that? You can't do.
Nothing's been canceled yet, guys.
Right.
It's only been postponed.
Right.
The game could happen in 3 weeks' time.
Right. Exactly.
Relax.
They're talking. They're talking 30 days, which obviously, for here in Philly, the 30 days knocks out the last 3 Wings home games. But they could be rescheduled. Okay. If they're not rescheduled, you will have the option, obviously, of either 1, getting a refund, or 2, that money going towards your next year's season tickets, if you want season tickets next year. But you can't go.
You bought them out of some place like StubHub.
Right.
They would tell you to go back to StubHub.
StubHub to get your money back.
They have said also that they will give you your money back or put it towards, I believe they're going to put 120% towards
another purchase. Right. So
there's no problem, people. There's no civil suits required.
Right. And
again, a little calm, a little thinking goes a long, long way.
Yeah, and everybody is just freaking out. Let's worry about. For us on the lacrosse end here, Gary, let's everybody just focus on the safety and the health of the players. Okay, not just for me here for the Philadelphia Wings, but the Toronto Rock, the Buffalo Bandits, the San Diego Seals, Saskatchewan Rush, the Vancouver Warriors. Let's worry about the health and safety of those players. Okay, the members of
those players, those trainers.
Yes.
The people all behind the scenes. Let's worry about all of them.
Right.
They're there all the time.
Right. And that's why, the commissioner, Nick Skavich, came out and said, they're going to do the same thing what the NBA is doing. They are going to shut down for right now. They're going to temporarily suspend play, and they're going to see what happens in the next few weeks and see,
Well, my boys got a 3-week March break ahead of them now because they're shutting the schools down
right.
for 2 weeks after March break.
Yeah, they're doing the same thing here. Schools around here are closed for two full weeks, and even the gyms are closed around here. So you can't even go to a gym to work out.
I don't believe it's been that bad yet here.
No, they have that here. Yeah.
We only have 54 cases here in Ontario.
Yeah. Well, the YMCA and everything. So far in Montgomery County, as of last night, was the highest county in Pennsylvania with cases, and that's where I'm at. So, but it's just like we said, just everybody just be calm, do what you need to do, and everything will be okay. Lacrosse wise, let's worry about our players, the trainers, and things like that. We'll keep them healthy and everything. And a lot of things have been canceled, Gary. Everything from soccer games. We all know NBA and NHL have been shut down. NASCAR is still going, but they'll do it without fans. March Madness. Nothing.
March Madness is gone. Anything to do with NCAA, anything is gone.
Yeah, and this is
lacrosse seasons D1, D2, D3, all gone.
Yeah, and this
is done.
Right, and that's my one complaint. Okay, the NCAA Division 1, 2, and 3 lacrosse, they could have held out on that. Okay, keep it temporarily, suspend play for right now. See how far it goes before you go ahead and cancel it all. In 30 days, they may be able to get back to playing. You don't know. If you go into, say, towards the end of April, you get towards that 3rd week of April, then I could see you saying, hey, we got it, we can't do it. There won't be enough games played or anything like that. But for them to cancel a tournament that doesn't play until, the championships don't play until Memorial Day weekend, and it starts the 2nd week of May, I think you could have waited a little bit before you went ahead and did that. But, that's the NCAA. They did what they had to do, but they're allowing the players to do another year of eligibility. If this was their final year, they can go ahead and do it. So, this is all a sit and wait and see. Gary, like you said, right now, you would normally be sitting in the Scotiabank Center right now waiting for the game to start. I was looking forward to Sunday night's game, going with my son. to watch the New York Riptide. That ain't happening. There was so much, going on. But let's look at a little, I guess you could say.
One more bit of tidbit news is the Arena Lacrosse League today announced also that they have suspended operations.
Yeah, I was going
until further notice as well.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that, what the deal was with the ALL.
That was the last one to go because they still had 4 games scheduled as of this morning.
Right.
It came down this afternoon by email that this is going to be like everything else right now. They're just going to subside for the time being.
Yeah.
Which is strange because, playoffs and championship weekend is in a couple of weeks. Yeah. So obviously all that moves back.
Right. We'll just have to see what happens there. We have to see what happens, all over. Just do what we have to do. Now, let's look at the games from last week. We had some interesting ones, and a real interesting one out in Colorado, and we'll get to that later. But let's first start New England and Philadelphia. This was the way this game started was just, it seemed like the officials wanted to make it kind of about them. You had a couple dead ball fouls, and you had a high sticking major by Kyle Matisse. It just didn't get the right flow right away. New England opens up with a 4-2 lead after the first, and they're up 6-4. At the half, Vitarelli gets one for Philly, but that was sandwiched around, goals by Andrew Q, Jordan Durston, Joe Resetaritz, which the announcer there, I don't know what he was calling him. Okay, he would say Joe, and it's like he had marbles in his mouth. So I don't know what he was doing, what he was trying to call him. Because every time Joey Rez would score, I'm like listening to see how he says his name, and I swear to God, it sounded like he put marbles in his mouth each time, because that's how it sounded. But then in the third quarter, the Wings defense just shut down New England. And they go ahead and they tie the game up at 6. And you're thinking, okay, everything's going to turn around here, with no problem. And meanwhile, Kellen Crawford has been shut down at this point. Okay, and you're like, okay, great, and I got people going, how do you know which one's Kellen Crawford? Look at the lime green sneakers. He sticks out like a sore thumb.
Well, he came to life when it mattered.
Yeah, exactly. At 4:46 of the fourth, he put one in, and then a minute 7 later, Adam Bomberry put one in, and then Crawford again at 8:54. That put them up 9-6, and the Wings kept pressure on them. They tried them just with the extra attacker. Brett Hickey put one in at 13-12, but they just couldn't do what they needed to do. Okay.
Can you explain to me what the hell happened with Gold Watkinson with the chopper?
Here's what happened.
Obviously, somebody in the league read my article with Travis Pior.
Yeah. Well,
about his stories at the penalty box.
Right. Well, here's what happened. Okay. Yeah, you had Watkinson go into the box. Okay, he got unsportsmanlike conduct, and he got 4 minutes for roughing, and obviously the penalty box sits right in front of Chopper. Okay, and of course I talked to Chopper after the game, as I always do, and Chopper and the fans there, they always rag on the opposing players getting in the box. Nothing out of the ordinary. Okay? Watkinson grabbed the water bottle, squirted water, didn't hit Chopper, it hit the glass. And just did that as joking around with Chopper. Next thing you know, 10-minute game misconduct. Because it was something with, contact with a fan or whatever. because he squirted. They said he squirted water on the fan. Now,
Sean Evans would be sitting down for months if that were the case.
Yeah. Now, Chopper told me at the end that he felt bad because that's not what he wanted to do. Okay, and he ran into Brett Manny, who always comes up at the end of the game to see. He starts his following here in Philly to let him know to talk to Colton and apologize to him because that's not what he wanted to do. That's not what he was doing. Because Chopper felt bad about that. And Chopper is actually at the point where he doesn't even want to know if he ever wants to paint his face again to go as Chopper because of the way the officials are being right now. There's a guard that stands down there now to make sure that nothing happens. Okay? And it's a guard that Chopper knows everything, and everything is fine. Chopper never says anything out of line. No foul language, no nothing. Okay? It's good, fun hazing on a player. That's all that it is. Okay? So, for the official to do that, there was no reason to. None whatsoever. And Chopper felt bad about it. He really did. Oh, because he just picked up the water bottle and squirted water. You're going to give him a game misconduct for that? Really? It's a little... I'm sorry. It's asinine if you ask me. Okay? When all Chopper was doing was having some good old fun, and he does it with all the players that go into the box, and a lot of them will sometimes high-five him through the glass. Because they know. They take it as a badge of courage, to be razzed by Chopper or whatever, players that played here that are on other teams, when they get announced, they want to hear the Sucks chant towards them. It's like a badge of honor. Yeah, I played here and I'm playing somewhere else and I got the Sucks chant. Yeah, all right. But to have that happen, no. And for those that know Colton Watkinson and that whole incident there, it wasn't meant to try to get him out, okay? To get him a game misconduct or anything like that. It's nothing but good razzing by Chopper, one of the most diehardest fans there is, not just for Philadelphia, but in the league in general. And it was just good-natured ribbing. That's all it was. And the officials just must have had a hair across their ass, and that's what they did. So, yeah, it's the truth. It's the truth. We don't have no censorship here. Okay? They had a tight hair across their ass. I mean, and that's what happened. This is where we say that, the officials are making themselves part of the game. So, and took a little fun out of the post-game party. But, that I think has gotten resolved. Chopper even said he reached out to him because he posted something up on the Wings fan club page on Facebook. So hopefully that's all getting ironed out and resolved. But with the game, Philadelphia outshot New England 51-48. They picked up an extra 14 loose balls, 78-64. Faceoffs were kind of tight, 11-9. There. But where they really faltered at, they were 3 for 8 on the power play. That was it. And New England was 2 for 7.
It was 2 for 7, yeah.
Yeah, so both of them really didn't do all that great on the power play. Scoring-wise, you got Riley O'Connor, Adam Bomberry, Joe Resetaritz, all with a goal apiece. Andrew Q, Jordan Durston, and Kalen Crawford with a pair. Crawford had 3 assists, Q with 2. And that was it there. With only 9 goals, you're not going to have a whole lot. On the wing side, this is where you got to start shaking your head because something's not right. Okay, Matt Rambo with 2 goals, Blaze Reardon with just 2 assists, Hickey with a goal and an assist, and you go down Kevin Crowley 0 goals, 3 assists. He never plays well against New England for some reason. And then you had Corey Vitarelli with a pair, Kyle Matisse with one, Liam Burns with one. So between Rambo, Reardon, and Crowley, you had a total of 2 goals. That can't happen. Okay? You need to get more out of that. Brett Hickey, only 1 goal. The New England defense...
And that came with no time left, really.
Right. Yeah, and it was with the extra attacker. So the offense needs to get clicking there. Doug Jameson got the win, stopped 44 out of 51. And unfortunately, Zach Higgins took the loss. He stopped 39 of 48. Your 3 stars, I don't see any dispute in this. Doug Jameson was the first star. Callum Crawford was the second star. And the third star went to Matt Rambo. So, by this time we would have been talking about, trade deadlines coming up. What do you think's going to happen? We don't know what's going to happen. So,
I believe they're going to move it further back is what they're going to do.
Yeah, probably, yeah. Okay, now next game.
Well, let's talk about moving it to March the 17th. Well,
yeah.
I guess we're going to do it a little bit later now.
Yeah. All right, next game that we had, Georgia at New York. Gary, we talked about this. We both said, Georgia will win this game. It shouldn't be a problem.
This was bizarre.
It was a problem.
I thought that was the best first half that New York has played all year, period.
Yeah.
I thought their defense looked terrific. I thought they had decent offense. Nothing spectacular, but I thought their defense and goaltending with Abrams in there was stifling.
Yeah.
Absolutely stifling. Georgia had no answers for them all the way until almost the end of the second quarter at 12:01 when Lyle Thompson finally got a goal. But once again, they haven't been able to do 60 minutes, and they only did about 40 in this one. And the Wolves came tumbling down in the fourth, and it was the Georgia onslaught by guys who I was mentioning before, Stotts, Zed Williams in transition, Lyle Thompson again, Shane Jackson, all the guys who are supposed to be doing this.
Yep.
And then, of course, you added Brian Cole in there with a couple of goals as well. And we have a whole different show. And all New York had was Pat Saunders on his, 19th team in the league?
Yep.
Who just got re-signed from ALL. He had just spent 2 games in the ALL after being released. And now he's back up, and he is the heart and soul now of New York Riptide. And he had 2 goals, leading the scoring for the New York Riptide. So, Georgia proved they only needed to play 1 quarter to win this game.
Yeah, basically, that's all they did because they scored 7 in the fourth, and New York scored 7 the whole entire game.
Well, see, the thing that kind of bothered me about New York is they wasted such a good half by not having any offense to go with it.
With it, right.
They played such terrific defense. They had Georgia behind the 8 ball. And really, looking at the shots, they had 22 shots in the first half. But quality shots, I would say half that, maybe.
Yeah.
And they had 20 in the second. Or 21 in the second. And they needed to have 40 in the second. They needed to keep peppering. But, again, they had a tough time. Cal Abrams can only do so much. His defense gave him 2.5 quarters of really solid defense. And they kind of went, we're good for the night. Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
And they let them hang out to dry.
It's a shame. I mean...
And that's it. Really, that's in a nutshell.
Yeah, we both thought that, Georgia will win this game with no problem, and...
Yeah, no, I watched that game, very, very intently, and I covered it, and it was, I sat there going, wow, if they could keep this up, this could be the game of the week of upsets. And, even after the third, if they could hold on, this could be it. And, that was 44 seconds in, a minute and a half later,
yeah.
And the Wolves fell down completely.
Yeah.
But by the 6.5 minute mark, you knew this thing
Yeah, I think it more than just fell down. It just kind of imploded. You know, when you
it just absolutely disintegrated.
Yeah, when you got somebody like Pat Saunders is the one leading your team and scoring in that game, you know, it's, you know, Dan Lomas only had one, Kieran McCardle, no goals. You know, Jean-Luc Shetner.
He scored 2 in the first half, and one was in transition with Dan McCray.
Yeah.
And the other was Pat Saunders. No, you don't have any offense at all.
No. Yeah, they were without Chetner. He was a scratch. But Georgia was without Jordan Hall, which was kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was really interesting. So, you know, if he was in the lineup, who knows what would have happened, you know, but it's just, yeah, New York, they're just, you know, they're playing for tea. That's what basically it is.
Tea or sours, and that's it.
Yeah. And just like you said, Gary, I think they should do that. They should do it as a lottery. You know, do it by ping pong balls or whatever they want to do it by, you know, and pick it that way. This way a team can't tank, you know?
Obviously tank.
Yeah.
They put stars on IR and trade away other stars and,
yeah,
you know, absolutely tank.
Well, the trading I could see you want to get draft picks, but after that they're not even trying. Yeah, I don't know. You want to say they're not even trying, but you could
for the 17 people that are there, you know.
Yeah.
Like I figured, you know, we really didn't have to cancel games. We got to put them in Georgia and put them in New York. You can keep up the couple of meter, you know, distance between people.
Yeah.
Pretty much give them a section between people.
Yeah, you could. Even though they said there was 5,000 people in New York, I don't think so.
Of course there were. I watched the game. You know, I saw 5,000.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no, this one they panned over to Times Square. That's right.
Yeah. The next game.
There was just people waiting to get into the deli.
So much for New York radio. We'd never be allowed on that.
They haven't let me on yet, so I don't think it's going to start now.
No. The next one we had, Vancouver at Saskatchewan. This one we basically called right down the center, Gary. We said that the Saskatchewan offense was going to come out on fire and do what they needed to do.
Yeah, well, Toronto put them up in knots the week before, and I think they had something to prove in this one. And Vancouver, they happened to be the unlucky recipient, and they drew the straw of having to play them next. And away we went. And sure enough, six and a half minutes into the game, it was 3-0. And we went from there. The 6-1 first, and off to the parking lot you could go.
It was just brutal. I mean,
so with the exception of the second quarter, Saskatchewan controlled the entire game.
Yeah.
There was no doubt at any given point.
And they only had, what?
The second quarter was the only one that Vancouver looked like they were interested or could actually warn and put together an attack.
Yeah. I mean, they outscored them 2-1 in the second, so, you know, it's somewhat of a moral victory, I could say, for them.
Well, yeah. Well, Mitch Jones was a big part of that, being a setup guy. Logan Schuss on the power play, and then Lyndon Bowes, you know. But it's another one, Vancouver. I really want to see them succeed, and I've seen such great moments from them. And then they put together a couple of quarters that are absolute dogs. And here we are again.
Yeah, I mean, the third and fourth.
They've taken themselves from playoffs to nowhere near playoffs by their play.
Right. I mean, third and fourth quarter, they were outscored 5-2 in each. Yeah, it's just.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just flat out ugly. I mean, 17-7.
We had a Nolan Clayton sighting, folks.
Yeah.
He actually played 21 minutes and 14 seconds in this game. Not just 12 seconds like in the last game or whatever. He actually stuck around for 16 saves. Not bad.
No.
23 shots. 16 saves.
Yeah. He let up to us.
Par for the course is basically the same thing as what Eric Benny was doing.
Yeah, and yeah, you hear the score 17-7, and you're thinking, okay, well the power play must have been clicking on everything. Each team only had 3 power plays. Saskatchewan went 2 for 3, and they picked up a shorthand.
I noticed that LeBranch doesn't call nearly as many penalties as he used to.
No, I think maybe he might have gotten pulled into the principal's office, if you ask me.
I don't know, because he was on Lacrosse All Stars. He was on Lacrosse Classified, and he was explaining everything that had to be done and tested and read Jimmy and everything else, week to week and season to season. It was really interesting to listen to him and everything that goes into it.
Right.
And I just think he's become, I say this when we get back, he'll call 4,300 penalties in this game.
Yeah, exactly.
I think he's become a much better rep than I don't notice him on the field near as much as I used to.
Huh.
By any stretch of the imagination. Both him and Gardonio, the two of them, I don't at all. The Garrisons are a different situation. Ferguson I notice all the time out there. But these guys who I've noticed for years, I am not noticing nearly as much.
Now watch. Now, like you said, now that you said that, when they come back to play...
1,400 penalties, a new set record for anything and everything from both of them. But I don't see it anymore. Gardonia's always been big at watching the benches, and he calls a gazillion, leaving beforehand, right?
Right.
Too many men penalties. LeBranch has always been calling the iffy penalties, and I don't see him doing that anymore.
We'll have to see what happens.
I don't know. I like it. Honestly, I like it.
Yeah.
I don't cringe when I see his name on the score sheet anymore.
Yeah, it's true. He only called 8 penalties. So, but yeah, this game was all Saskatchewan. 57-43 in shots, 89-77 in loose balls, 19-9 in face-offs. Real quick, one thing I wanted to bring up with Vancouver. Remember the other week we mentioned about Bobby Snyder?
Yeah, he's toast for the year. That's quite the surgery he had to go through.
Yeah, I saw the picture of that. That's what I wanted to bring up the other week, and I forgot. Yeah, I think it was his ACL, his meniscus, everything. It's just totally wrecked the knee completely.
Yeah, so I'd be very surprised if we see Bobby back.
At all?
At all. He's got a year to recoup.
Yeah.
Right away. And at this stage of his career, does he really want to go through all of that to try and come back?
You never know. He may.
I think that's an awful lot of work for a young man. Getting up there in sports years, I think that's a tall tale. But that's happened.
Yeah.
But generally speaking, that's a tall ask.
Yeah.
And thoughts and prayers, and hopefully he does, because he's a damn good face-off man, and damn good player, and a real good guy.
Yeah.
And I'd love to see him still in the game.
Yeah, you hate to see somebody's career end that way. You want to see them go out the way they want to go out, not 20 seconds.
Well, there was Joe Theismann, wasn't there?
Oh, no, stop. Don't even, I don't even want to think about that.
There you go.
I remember seeing that. Oof.
So do I.
But for, real quick, the scoring for Vancouver, Ryan Keenan with 4, Robert Church 2 and 2, Mark Matthews.
So we're talking Saskatchewan.
What did I say, Vancouver?
Yeah.
Okay, Vancouver against Vancouver. I'm telling you, it's just been one of them days today. Okay, Mark Matthews 2 and 7.
Now that should scare everybody. Mark Matthews on track.
Yeah. Jeff Shatler 2 and 5. Ben McIntosh 3 and 3. That's all just straight out balance scoring and a scary offensive attack right there for Saskatchewan.
This is Saskatchewan that we remember.
Yeah, and it's scary, especially if they were still being able to play right now. So Saskatchewan wins that one 17-7. The next one we had, I didn't put them all in order. That'd be a miracle if I did that. Yeah, I did. What do you know? You had.
Oh, you have Rochester and San Diego.
Okay, so I didn't put them in order. That's right. There we go. Rochester at San Diego. Oof.
Yeah, this one was close right until the national anthem. And I believe after the national anthem, Rochester was down 3-0.
Well, no, they're actually up 1-0. They were.
They're up. they got the first goal. Turner Evans got a goal, 2:23.
Yeah.
And then wham.
Yeah, that was it.
Zach Burrows and stops Casey Jackson. Boom, 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 boom. And this one goes to the races.
Yeah, and then after that, you had Curtis Knight with one for Rochester, and then Jackson and Stotts again.
Yeah, this was the team for the night because they peppered the Rochester goalies with shots, and poor Ryland Hartley was in there to start. He wasn't in there to finish.
No.
They brought Craig Wendy in with about 6 minutes to go in the third. They should have brought him in sooner, in my opinion. But gotta let Ryland Hartley get his feet wet. But they are starting to expose the game a little bit, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean it was just nonstop San Diego. I mean, every time, in this case, Rochester would score a goal, San Diego would come back with 2 or 3. There was no ifs, ands, or buts. It's not like Rochester couldn't even get on a run. They would stop the run, but then San Diego would say, okay, fine, we'll get 2 more. We're going to score 1, we'll score 3. Stop it, okay.
When you're down 11-5 at the half, and you come out in the second half with such a blistering attack that you score 1 goal in the entire half, you're not winning many games.
No. And this was a game that, as they called him in San Diego, Frank the Tank, played phenomenal. I mean, he played almost 52 minutes, stopped 25 of 31 shots.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, then Nick DeMute came in and stopped all 4. Yeah, I mean, he played 8 minutes and 19 seconds, only faced 4 shots.
Yeah.
What's that tell you about the offense of Rochester?
Well, let's see. They traded away Dan Ledner. They put Sean Evans on IR. Jay Thornberg is just back after weeks and weeks of injury. Well, what more can I say?
Yeah, I mean,
they brought Cam Milligan in. This was his first NLL game. He had a goal and an assist. Cam has been lighting it up in the Arena Lacrosse League, and I'm really happy to see him there. It looks to stay. Curtis Knight's still doing his thing there. 2 goals and 4 assists.
well,
Colin Cadonia's kept pretty much silent at 1 goal and an assist. Dan Mickle, nothing.
No.
1 assist. Dallas Bridle, he was part of the trades also, and 0-0. Yeah. Mark Cockerton, who got released this week, was a 0-0. So he had a couple of weeks where he got some goals, and he has 1 where nothing, and he got released. Outright.
no. I mean, you look at the shots. I mean, between Catoni with 7, Knight with 8, and Turner Evans with 6, that's 21 of your 35 shots. I mean, nobody else was shooting the ball.
Yeah.
Or even, I guess you could say, attempting it. It just didn't.
Yeah, well, we're back to the who's going to finish last, right?
Right, yeah, and I mean, they got 35 shots on goal, 16 of them off net. They were outshot 68-35.
I had to have a bit of a laugh because on the one of the Nighthawks fan pages, I read, we're worried about the high-fiving at games. Well, the Nighthawks are helping us with that. They don't give us many opportunities to high-five.
High-five.
Well, at least everybody can have a bit of a sense of humor about things, right?
Yeah, they try to, yeah. Yeah, they almost outshot 2-1. Loose balls, 90-6.
Take a look at who's setting the goals. San Diego, people are supposed to, right? Connor Fields, 3-3. Wes Berg.
2-6.
He's been holding it together the whole season, right?
Yeah.
2-6. Casey Jackson. They were waiting for him to come back from injury. Well, he's full bore and full steam ahead at 5-2. Austin Stotts, 2-5. Zach Greer. Everybody in Colorado just cringes every time they see him with a big night. Kyle Buchanan.
2-6.
All the guys who are supposed to be doing things are doing things now. But I do have a caveat: is this isn't against Toronto
Right,
Or the parade starts going down the streets of San Diego.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
but they're doing what they need to do to those weaker teams by beating them.
And they're starting to feel it, and they're starting to do they're starting to get on the steams.
Right, and
so when they do play the stronger teams, they're not all over the boards.
Right, and that win put them to 6-6. They started out 1-5.
Yeah.
So
having Spots and Jackson back are huge.
Yeah.
Because when you can double and triple team Westberg and not worry about anything, well, that took care of everything, didn't it?
Yes, it did.
Now, there's a few threats out there, and now even subsidiary players are starting to come in and they're starting to add to it as well as transition. So, you're looking at a well-balanced attack coming now.
Yeah. Now, we move to Sunday. Buffalo at Halifax. I'm thinking, Buffalo's going to pull this one out. But I don't know. Halifax just did what they do. I mean,
well, Halifax it took a very concerted 2-minute effort, and that was it. At the very end of the game, Cody Jamieson, Clark Peterson, and Hossack with an empty netter took defeat and made it into victory. Because Buffalo was up 9-8 with merely 2 minutes to go, right?
2 minutes to go, yeah. Minute
59.
Minute 59, yeah.
And the back and forth game that it was, Buffalo scored 2 in 5 minutes, and Halifax was actually in the lead at the beginning of the fourth. So they kept going back and forth all night long, which is just showing the parity of these two teams. And except for faceoffs, which of course Jake Withers dominated, pretty much the stats show the same thing. Loose balls were even, shots on goal 55-54. The difference was Buffalo was big on the power play, whereas Halifax was 2 for 6. Was he right?
Yeah. 2 for 6.
So yeah,
2 for 6. Yeah.
A game like this, being 11-9, really 10-9, we're not talking about an empty net goal. The stats match the score.
Yeah, I mean, Buffalo went 6 for 9 on the power play, along with the shorthanded goal.
Mm-hmm.
So 7 of their 9 goals came on special teams. So they couldn't do a damn thing, even strength.
Well, in my imagination, Withers getting even better than he was on faceoffs.
No, he's getting better. That's the scary part.
Well, it's better, and a lot of teams have decided to do what Toronto did a few weeks back and just give it up and go and play it as a loose ball.
Right.
So here you can have 24-24, but you're not getting into our zone. And that's the new defense to a strong face-off there.
Yeah. And teams are going to.
And I think it works.
Yeah, teams are
certainly neutralize it. It's 22-24. This should be a whole lot bigger score than that, but that much more possession time, and it wasn't.
No. Yeah, teams are going to have to try to find a way to combat that some way, somehow. But don't know if they'll be able to. But yeah, Buffalo, like I said, they scored 7 of their 9. Either 6 on the power play, 1 shorthanded. Only 2 goals.
Now, people were starting to question Warren Hill from the previous week. Well, 9 goals out of 55 shots. I'd say he had a pretty good night.
Yeah.
And that seems to be more of what his year has been like than the other way. So I think this is more of the norm.
Yeah, Matt Vince stopped 43 of 53, so not too shabby.
Not too shabby from a guy who's won the goaltender of the year 6 years or whatever.
Yeah.
Warren Hill is the up-and-comer, so that's the one everybody had the questions about.
Right.
Matt Vince can give up 17 one night, nobody's going to question it.
No.
Just had an off night. Warren Hill gives up 12 or 13 goals, everybody's wondering, well, which Warren Hill are we going to see? This is the Warren Hill. He's a good goaltender. He's had really, he's got good lineage, man. He's got a Bobberry and Montour lineage. He's a solid NLLer.
Right. So they pulled that one. They pulled that one off and made a lot of things interesting in the North. We'll say because the next game, which I'm curious to hear how you felt with this one, Calgary at Toronto, which seems to be becoming every year more and more like a really true rivalry here.
Well, Calgary and Toronto have hated each other since, the mid to late 2000s. Some of the games have been absolute bloodbaths over the years. And I don't think it helped much when Sanderson accordingly left Calgary after they won a championship and came to Toronto to have them win a championship. Yeah, 2010-2011 seasons, right?
Yeah.
So things were seated in deep there. Now let's also remember, Dobby's back, but this is the defending champions too. Couple that in with Schreiber and Dawson were back in the lineup for Toronto, but the Toronto offense looked out of sync right from the get-go. Completely out of sync, missing passes, a lot of sloppy play, leaving the defense left Rose hanging out to dry like a towel most of the night. Like when I rewatched this thing and saw all these guys in behind the defense, goal after goal after goal, I am thoroughly amazed it was only a 13-10 score. 12-10 if you were going to eliminate the empty net goal. Because, really, this was not a good showing by the Rock. After such a fantastic showing the week before against the Saskatchewan Rush. Dan Craig got it off early with a goal of 5:33 in, but bang, Calgary came up with 3 goals of their own. Reese Dutch, Zach Harrowares, and Curtis Dixon. You're going to leave Superman by himself? He dove from behind the net and put it in. From beside the net. It was a really spectacular goal. Throw 2 transition goals from Toronto, and we had to tie after 1. The second quarter was the real telltale. The rest of the game was even. Again, Curtis Dixon in behind the defense. He actually, I believe he pushed off of Scott Dominic, who slipped, and it was Dixon by himself. Dan Taylor, another former Toronto Rock, having a good time there. Mitch Wild adding to his score. Finally, on a power play, the Rock got back into it a little bit with Hellier. But again, Superman gets in behind the Toronto defense, and another goal. Then something all Toronto fans have been waiting weeks and weeks and weeks to see. Captain America in with a goal at 8:13 of the second. But just a minute and a half later, Reese Dutch gets that done. Josh Jubenville had a beautiful goal. He took it and all by himself, a nice, beautiful individual effort. Got a nice goal there. Schreiber, another one there. And then Dobie's only goal of the day, fired from just inside the restraining line. And that was the end of the second. And Calgary's up 9-7 at the half. Now, you would think that Toronto would be, Bruce Scott has been notorious for changing up plays and confusing teams. And the offense for Toronto has been very, very good in the third. This time, Malofsky had the answers. Because Dan Taylor, 49 seconds in, scored for Calgary, followed by Tyler Pace on the power play just a couple of minutes later. And boom, 9-7 turned into 11-7, and we're starting to look upward. Now, Toronto made it into a game with Rogers and Hellier scoring. So, we're back to a 2-goal deficit going into the fourth. Still very attainable. But Christian Del Bianco played absolutely amazing on just about everything Toronto could throw at him. And things got, pretty intense with Toronto's offense. They tried everything. And the only goal that they scored in the fourth was a Scott Dominey. We have to have one from him. Flash was at it again. And he had been thwarted a couple of times by Del Bianco earlier in the game. And this time he went high far side on a break, and he got one. And then Shane Simpson scored into an empty net and sealed the deal. Face-offs. Let's look at that. 22-6. Tyler Burton, it didn't matter. Toronto had nobody in there. They put all year on faceoff. So, I guess faceoff's just our Toronto's thing now.
Right.
It doesn't seem it. 83-79 loose balls, still very close. Power plays 2 for 5 for Calgary, 1 for 4 for Toronto. Really not a whole lot to speak of there. But this was a Toronto Rock team that just seemed discombobulated. They just didn't, you have that off night, this was it. And I don't expect whenever they get back to playing again, I would have expected tonight that they would have come out gangbusters against Buffalo. We're not going to see that.
Right.
So, whenever things come back into being, hopefully just a couple weeks from now, I have a feeling that you're going to see a much more in sync Rock lineup. But all powers, I do think an aggressive Calgary defense that basically came out and punched them in the mouth right from the beginning really got them out of sync. I think they were helped to be out of sync, and I think the Calgary coaching staff has a lot to be proud of with their team.
Yeah, it was one of them games, just Calgary winning.
You kept expecting something different to happen, and then you take a look at the 3 stars. Curtis Dixon was the first star, and that's totally the truth. Shane Simpson being number 2, again, dead on the money for that one. Rob Hellier is the 3rd star. I have no problems with any of the stars in this game.
Right.
If you try and hang this loss on Nick Rose, you're nuts. Absolutely nuts, because then you need to rewatch. Go on to BR Live and watch.
Yeah.
And you'll see how many times they were in behind the Toronto Rock defense. I counted 4 at least. So, there's only so much he's going to be able to do.
Yeah.
There's only so much anybody's going to be able to do. But that being said, Calgary put together a much-needed win for them to try and keep up with the West. It is, Saskatchewan sitting on top there at 7-3, and then everybody else kind of milling together. Colorado 7-6, San Diego 6-6, and Calgary staying there at 5-5. So they're still in the hunt to get into the playoffs.
Yeah,
and they needed that win with Toronto. So that being said, let's put that one behind us and move forward.
Yeah, the last game we had, and this was, I'm still shaking my head about it. I watched the first part of it, or the first quarter of it here, and then a friend of mine scored tickets to the WWE Elimination Chamber at the Wells Fargo Center. So, for the last 3 quarters, while we were at the Wells Fargo Center, and while this game was going on, and while they were doing their pre-show at the Wells Fargo Center, we got the game on our phones. And we got the wrestling fans behind us watching the game over our shoulders, getting into the game. Okay? Now, Gary, you're a wrestling fan like me. You know how they have the dark matches before the pay-per-view kicks off. Okay?
Right.
Well, while the match is going on, the Wings are making their comeback. You got about 15 people around us were high-fiving. Not because of the wrestling match. Because of the Wings game. Me and my friend Brian, we're sitting next to each other. We're high-fiving. We're going nuts. But this game started out, Georgia just opening up a quick 6-0 lead. 5-0 at the end of one. Then they started the second quarter just the same way. They go up 6-0, and from a Philly standpoint,
they're really 7-1, yeah.
Yeah, well, 6-0, then went 6-1, then 7-1. Sitting there as a Philly fan and just watching the message board and everything, it was just like, oh my God, it's just there's going to be a weekend where they're going to lose both of them now, and it's really going to put playoffs in jeopardy, and they just don't have it tonight. Even though they left it like 6:45 in the evening before Georgia even started playing on Saturday. Okay, they were already in the air. Okay, on their way there. So it's like, what's going on here? They're in Georgia relaxing while Georgia's in New York playing, and they just couldn't get their feet under them until Blaze Reardon started it going. I mean, he gets one at 5:11, like I said, to make it 6-1. Then about 43 seconds later, Shane Jackson puts it in, and then Philadelphia woke up. You get Kyle Matisse, Blaze Reardon, Josh Courier, Kyle Matisse, Josh Courier again, and the Wings only trail 7-6 going into the half. Like, okay, they woke up. So,
proven once again, this is a game of runs.
Yeah, and Philly made this run work, and Gary, we said this a million times, when you're down by 5, down by 6, you got to outscore your opponent 6-0 or 5-0 just to earn a tie at that point. And it's oh so hard to get up and over that hump at that point. Okay? We've seen it happen, I don't know how many times. Teams score another 5 goals, and it's 5-5, and then all of a sudden somebody comes back and scores 4 more, and they, that's it. They just couldn't. They don't have enough steam in the engine, to keep going. But the third quarter started, and 2 goals by Georgia, and you're looking 9-6, and you're saying to yourself, well, here we go. They got within 1, and now they're back down by 3. They just don't have the steam in the engine to get up and over that hill. They don't have it. Then Blaze Reardon pops in 2 more at 7:12 and 9:35. Both of them from Hickey and Crowley. So now you're looking at a 9-8 game and thinking, okay, here they come again. Can they push that engine up over the hill? But a person by the name of Lyle Thompson had something to say about that. Putting his goal into the net. And they're up by 2 again. The fourth quarter started, and I don't know what happened to Georgia at this point. This is when the wheels on Georgia's bus fell off. Maybe, playing that tight game in New York and traveling finally caught up with them. With the Wings keeping the pressure on them. Very possible. But, who knows? Brett Hickey at 57 seconds makes it 10-9. Then Shane Jackson scores the only goal for Georgia in the fourth at 6:07 to go up 11-9. Then Kyle Matisse, nothing fancy, on a penalty shot. Beats Poole. It looked like through the 5-hole. It was nothing fancy. He, swung out wide and came in, to get a better angle, and he just bounced it by Poulin. And I thought it was something maybe Poulin could have saved, but I don't know. Like I said, it was nothing fancy. It was no, fake, head dodge, head fake, stick fake, and then, wrap around behind the back. He just came right in and put it through the legs. Then Blaze Reardon ties the game up at 11:21 at 11:11. Gary, after that, the next couple minutes, both teams had plenty of chances. Poulin making some top-notch saves. Same thing with Zach Higgins. And it just went up and back until Brett Hickey finally put one in with 1:35 to go. Now, after that, the last minute and a half was a nail-biter. Okay? Georgia kept the pressure on. Wings would clear it out. They get their opportunity. Kept on coming back. And Georgia got a good look with about, I would say, 2 seconds to go. They got a few good looks. And I noticed, after the save was made by Higgins and the buzzer went off, I watched Higgins do something that Mike Poulin did last time Georgia was here. He gave that little fist pump into the ground, and he literally dropped to both knees. Everybody thought he was hurt, something happened. He was just emotional because it was that type of a game. for him and the Wings. And the Wings somehow managed to get the engine up and over the hill after being down 6-0 and 7-1 to come back and win this game 12-11. So they were down 7-1 at one point. They outscored Georgia 11-4 after that. I don't know where it came from. I'm glad it came from somewhere. But they pulled everything together. Blaze Reardon, game of the year for him. 5 goals and 3 assists. Brett Hickey, 2 and 3. Kevin Crowley, welcome back to the stat sheet, Big Cat. No goals, but 7 big assists for Crowley. Corey Vitarelli with 3 assists. Josh Courier with a pair of goals. Kyle Matisse with a hat trick. There's, a bunch of lumps scoring right there. Trevor Baptiste, 22 for 27 on the faceoffs. Georgia basically conceded that. I mean, the shots were 54-48 in favor of Georgia. Loose balls, 82-76. And both teams went 3 for 5 on the power play. Now, if there was 8,600 people in Georgia for that game, I'm a monkey's uncle. I don't see how they say there was 8,600 in this game. Okay? Unless they pan the crowd 2 or 3 times. Tell me I'm wrong. Your star, for Georgia, Miles Thompson was a scratch, which was kind of shocking to me. But Lyle Thompson, they kind of held him in check. 1 goal, 4 assists for Lyle Thompson. Adam Wiedemann, just a goal. Zed Williams, a goal. Shane Jackson, back on a hat trick string again, 3 and 3. Brian Cole with a goal. And Randy Stotts, 4 and 3. He's been a big wing killer lately. And Mike Poulin stops 36 out of 48. Higgins stops 43 out of 54. I mean, both goalies played phenomenal here. Your 3 stars: Blaze Reardon, Randy Stotts, Shane Jackson. Can't argue with that. When you look at the lines there, but Philly came out and just did what they needed to do. They needed to get that win, even though it doesn't change the tie-breaking situation with Georgia. Okay, it's still right now. They're both a game and a half out of first place. Georgia holds the second spot by percentage points. And they also have, as of now, 2 games in hand on Philly. So who knows what's going to happen in those 2 games. They could lose both of them, and Philly can move ahead of them, because they would have to beat them outright to get the spot. Because here's how we have the standings. New England in the East, you got New England at 8 and 3, Georgia at 7 and 5, Philly at 8 and 6, both a game and a half out. New York 1 and 12, they're 8 out. In the North, this is it's a shame that this is going on where everything's on a hiatus. Halifax 8 and 4, Toronto and Buffalo both at 7 and 4 and a half a game out, with a big cluster there, and Rochester 2 and 10. And in the West, Saskatchewan 7 and 3. Colorado 7 and 6, San Diego 6 and 6, Calgary 5 and 5, and Vancouver sitting at 4 and 9. Colorado's a game and a half out, and then San Diego and Calgary are 2 games out, but they're only half a game out of second place. Now, when you look at the playoff standings, Gary, New England would be a 1 seed right now. Saskatchewan is a 2. Halifax is at 3, and this is because of the winning percentage right now. Then Toronto's 4, Georgia 5, Colorado 6, and then Buffalo and Philly with the first and second wild card. And the win was big for Philadelphia because San Diego is only a game behind them, okay, for a playoff spot. Calgary is also a game behind. So Philly owns the Calgary tiebreaker, but this Sunday they were supposed to play San Diego. So that would be another huge game where they would need to win to hold that tiebreaker on them. Otherwise, it could really make things, interesting because, like I said, those three teams right there, you can even include Buffalo. So Buffalo, Philly, San Diego, and Calgary are all separated by a game and a half for the two wild card spots.
What's wild is if round one were to happen tomorrow, you take a look at the matchups, and these are all barn-burning matchups.
Yeah.
Philly at New England, Buffalo at Saskatchewan, Colorado at Halifax, Georgia at Toronto. All of them barn burner. All of them anybody could win.
Yep.
I don't care who's home and who's away. This is you show the parity of this league.
Yeah, I mean
it's incredible.
I mean you could have the top four teams getting beat by the bottom four teams
Easily, and you still couldn't say it's an upset.
No, you couldn't. New York has been officially eliminated. Rochester.
Right on the cusp.
Yeah, well, another loss or another win by San Diego or Philly or Buffalo knocks them right out. Vancouver is kind of teetering right now. They need a little help. They need to start winning, and Calgary has to start losing. But like I've been saying for weeks, it's going to come out with San Diego and Calgary. And never, Vancouver, Rochester, and New York. I never seen them in the picture. Okay, the way Vancouver has obviously been playing. San Diego, the way they've been coming on, teams have to watch out for it. And I'm hoping that they are able to redo the season, to start it back up again, because you got some good matchups here. San Diego 6-6, Philadelphia 8-6. San Diego has 2 games in hand. They're 5-1 after starting out 1-5. They're putting a little pressure on. Calgary has played only 10 games, so they got 4 games in hand on Philadelphia. They win those 4 or even 2 of them. They're right there as well. So, Buffalo and Philly have to watch out on the wild card end, but also Colorado has to watch out for the second seed because San Diego and Calgary are only half a game behind them.
Yeah.
So, the Wild West is living up to be the Wild West. And the North, it's the same way. Half a game separates Buffalo, Toronto, and Halifax. And a game and a half separates Philly, Georgia, and New England. But Philly don't own a tiebreaker over Georgia or New England. They got to beat them outright. But, in this league, anything can happen. So, Gary, I'm hoping that with this COVID-19, with this coronavirus, that everything could get under control. That just sports in general can get back to where, fans can go out and watch the games. Hoping that the National Lacrosse League gets back up and on its feet from this, because we have some amazing matchups coming. And the same thing with the Alterna Cup. Okay, you have some great matchups coming there, with the Canadian teams playing against each other for that. So it'd be a shame for, to hear the commissioner saying, to say, unfortunately, we have to end the season the way it is, or something of, in that nature. Those are the words that we don't want to hear. Okay, we want to hear that, hey, starting on this date, we're going to pick up the game to where they left off. They've been all rescheduled. Here it is. And we have the Philly New York matchup, then the Philly San Diego, then we have Toronto coming here. We have all that again. We have Philly Halifax. You get all that going again. You get the Calgary Saskatchewan matchups, and we don't want to see any games not be played. Where they would have made some kind of a difference.
Yeah.
But
the other headache, of course, is going to be building availabilities.
Right.
Because with the NHL and NBA not playing, Wells Fargo hosts all of those, just like Scotiabank hosts all those here. And what are we going to have? We're going to have Tuesday morning games?
Well, I think
that's another problem.
Yeah, I think what they may have to do when they do this is, like, if the hockey team is playing at 7 o'clock, you could have the lacrosse team playing at 1 o'clock.
Which works in Philly. It doesn't work very well here.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. Yeah, you have to try. Yeah, you have to try to do something like that, because trying to go from a basketball game to a hockey game, or hockey to basketball within a short period of time, that's almost next to impossible. I've seen it done, but
they also play during the week.
Right. Yeah. So it's yeah.
Let's see how they do this.
Yeah, but for right now,
let's get to that point first.
Yeah.
We have to get to having some games first before we worry about that.
Right. And like we said in the beginning, Gary, just people do the smart thing.
Stay calm. Stay calm.
Stay calm. You don't need to go buying 30 million rolls of toilet paper, or all the Purell out there, and claim I have it all and everything. Help out your neighbor.
Yeah, we have survived all kinds of things.
Yeah, I mean, if you have elderly neighbors, next to you, make sure they're okay. See if they need anything. Yeah, just wash your hands.
We have survived the anthrax scare, the West Nile scare, SARS in 2003,
the bird flu,
E. coli, the financial collapse in 2008, swine flu, North Korea going to cause World War III, Ebola, ISIS, Zika virus, and now we got Corona. Fear is killing him. Turn off the TV.
Yeah.
Spend some time with the family. This will pass, guys.
Yeah. Everything will be fine.
Be smart. Just be smart. Wash your hands. Don't touch your face. You'll be fine.
Yep.
If you are feeling symptoms, get checked. Get checked, get quarantined so you don't spread it around.
Yep.
But as for the rest of you, little common sense goes a long, long way.
Yes, it does, very much. And this is the time to do it. It's not the time to say, "Oh well, they could still play. Let's move them to this arena and only allow so many people." Or this, no. Let's make sure everybody stays healthy. Shut
it all down for a couple of weeks. Let's get this under control and let's move it forward.
Because what they're doing is they're cleaning all the arenas from top to bottom. They're scrubbing them down. They're spraying whatever they have to disinfect everything. So when you go back, Gary, to the Scotiabank arena, and when I go back into the Wells Fargo arena, it's going to look like a brand new arena because everything's going to be deep cleaned.
Yep.
So it'll look like when it first opened.
There's supposed to be new things in place on how to do things, and a little more sanitary, and not so much to cutting corners on anything, and everybody just has to have a little bit of patience.
Yep.
Just
have some patience, and like you said, guys, if you're not feeling well, go to a doctor. Go get checked out. Okay.
Get checked.
In between, drink the orange juice, the vitamin C, the multivitamin. Eat a little more healthier. Right now, build up your immune system. Do what
Get rest.
Do whatever.
There's no sports on. There's no excuse to stay up late. Get rest.
You're right. So, that'll, I guess, Gary, do for us for now. I guess we'll come back because there's nothing going on unless we hear something drastic. This will probably be our last show for a while until
we come back.
Yeah, until things are up and running again. Just look on our page, on our Behind the Bench page, on laxphilly.com, on In the Cross We Trust, on our personal Facebook pages. Okay, we always post things that are going on. You look on the Philadelphia Wings fan club page, the Global Lacrosse guy where you're at, all the places that you're at with whatever the NLL posts as far as the status of what they're doing, it's always posted. And, it'll just, everything will be there. And when we find something out, you'll find something out.
Yeah, we spend an awful lot of time making sure we're pretty much up to date. So
yeah,
just take in the knowledge and know that you're getting things as close to the moment as we can get it.
Yep. And if you have YouTube, I mean, hey, if you need to watch some old lacrosse games, you're bound to find them on YouTube. I got a bunch of DVDs. I got one of the Philadelphia Detroit Turbo game in '94.
Well, I'm planning on watching Whopper's Bible tonight, so there should be some pretty good games on there. I might even watch the 2000 final again.
Oh, that was
Caleb Toth, baby.
Yeah, that was the one with 0.1 second to go.
Yep, Caleb Toth.
Yep.
Last goal ever scored in Maple Leaf Gardens.
Yep. Yeah, I kind of like the one in 2001 when the Wings beat Toronto. And
won't be watching that tonight, sorry.
Yeah, well, it was kind of classic because Dallas kind of looked up at the scoreboard, saw how much time there was, and I think it was Colin Doyle coming down on a break, and Dallas just kind of leaned up against the net and just kind of, okay, yeah, it went in, and Doyle was all happy. The goal was scored. Yeah, we're only down by one. Then when he looked up at the scoreboard, he let out the oh shit, and that kind of did. Meanwhile, Dallas is just like leaning up on the net, just kind of laughing to himself, but you're seeing a big smile on his face. And rightfully so. I mean, that was the first time they won there in who knows how long. That's like a death trap going into there for Philly at the time. But again, Gary, let everybody know where they can find you.
You can find me at LaxPhilly, laxphilly.com, global lacrosse, all the time. You can find me on Edge of Philly Sports Networks. You can find me on the Arena Lacrosse League as the media guy there as well. And if you need to get a hold of me, at group55@rogers.com, and that is my email.
Yep. And again, with me, find us both on Behind the Bench, Facebook page, Wings Fanatic 107, on Twitter, Wings Fanatic. Just, reach out. We're out there. We're going to post as we get information from the league. Things will, get posted out there. The first things first, try to get this under control, and then they'll see what games are going to be. But just try to be patient. Just keep your fingers crossed. Keep yourself healthy. Keep praying that the players stay healthy, that nobody contracts this. Because I think I said this in the beginning. We now have 46 of the 50 states have people that have contracted this virus. So
teamwork, people.
Yeah,
teamwork.
It's in 46 of the 50 states. So stay healthy. Wash your hands. Get the Purell. Try to say don't touch your face after you touch something. Just don't. If you don't need to touch it, don't touch it. You go food shopping. Hey, you got to touch the shopping cart. You got rubber gloves. Wear them. Bring a Clorox wipes with you to wipe the handles down or whatever. Whatever makes you comfortable. Do that. If you got to wear your winter gloves, wear them. Just do whatever. So that'll do it for both of us. Like I said, we will see you hopefully very soon, sooner than later, with more information of what's going on with the league, when the games are going to get started back up, and hopefully we get resolution. We go into the finish the season, go into the playoffs, and everything just picks up the way it is, and we get some great, exciting lacrosse. So for Gary Grube at Lax Philly, I'm Rocco Granato at InLacrosseWeTrust.com. We're both Behind the Bench. Stay safe out there, everybody. Stay healthy. Help out your neighbors. And just be careful out there. We'll see everybody later on.